Bone Temple has dropped in theaters. That means it's time to stop and rank every 28 movie from the worst to the best. Hi, my name is Sean, and I love to talk about movies and TV way too much. With that in mind, go ahead and join me down below in the comment section. Share your ranking of each of these movies. My list is not the right list, it's just my list, and I would love to see yours. With that said, let's get started. In last place, 28 Days. Now, I enjoy Sandra Bullock. I enjoy this franchise, but this is a prequel setup movie that utterly fails to set anything up for the franchise. Thematically, it's about addiction, not society's collapsing. It's set in America, not England. There's no hints of infections or anything like that. So on every single level, it totally fails to connect with anything else in this franchise. In fourth, 28 years later, and this is easily my least favorite of the mainline franchise, though there is quite a bit in here that worked for me. I like the idea of exploring how societies would evolve in this quarantined island 28 years later, and how there'd be different pocket societies, how contained they would be, and what would kind of emerge from that, almost their own lore, particularly shown by the father building up his own hype and adventures, which so much of it is just false. It's very interesting to see like this particular boy that has been raised entirely in this contained society, even mostly held back from the rest of this quarantine island. There's flashes of brilliance and poignance about how it explores the different ways people have adapted and responded to this culture, this society. The Fiennes character in particular has a lot of really beautiful moments inside of it. It can be gnarly, it can be gory. There's a lot going on beneath the surface that I think could have made for a great movie, but I think it just needed to pick a focus, both in terms of themes, in terms of ideas, in terms of style. The movie just feels all over the place to me, as if each act is exploring a different idea, each act is directed by a different person, each act feels completely different from everything else, which just makes for a very kind of inconsistent experience. That, act one, we're trying to show how the society's evolved, and so in the editing style, it keeps intercutting in medieval war footage. I get it, but then it disappears in the middle act, which is, this boy trying to save his mother on this journey and this quest, and you're kind of learning about how they're quarantined, someone gets dropped there, and then you move into the third act of the movie, and all of a sudden it's this poignant reflection on death, and the beauty of life, and the importance of remembering people and being able to let go. Like, they're all completely different, all leading up to the final scene where the Jimmy cult shows up, and all of a sudden it's Teletubbies Power Rangers with people flipping all around in bright colors, and like, where did that come from? Like, I know the intro of the movie sets up the characters, but tonally it's like, this is whiplash. And so a movie that has a bunch of parts that are great, individual moments work for me, but on the whole, it just needed to pick some lane in order for me able to get a hold of it and feel like I'm on the wavelength of the film and stay with it. Hear the dog fight outside? Nice. I can respect that Garland and Boyle wanted to bring a little bit more of an artistic flair and experimental flair to a genre film that delivers carnage, candy, the infected, zombies, whatever you want to call them. It has all those elements while trying to do something new with the art form. I just think that it tried too many different things. It was too experimental in too many different ways, so I could just never latch on to it. I have so many subscriptions, streaming services, food services, software services. Some of them are annual subscriptions that are hundreds of dollars, and they happen over and over again. It adds up quick. There's so many times I've signed up for some subscription in order to do one specific project, and then I completely forgot about it and kept paying for it. And Rocket Money is one of those tools that has helped me rein in my accidental spending and get control of my finances. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitor your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. When I first started using Rocket Money, I realized I had 2 different subscriptions to one of the big streaming services. You can easily see all of your recurring monthly subscriptions in Rocket Money. Rocket Money has the ability to cancel subscriptions within the app with just a few taps, saving time and avoiding charges. Their dashboard also consolidates checking, savings, loans, and investments into a single dashboard to give users a clear view of their financial picture. It's a new year. It's a great time to try and get a grip on your finances. Rocket Money has helped me do that, and it can help you too. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals. Join at rocketmoney.com/Chandler. That's rocketmoney.com/Chandler. rocketmoney.com/Chandler. In third, 28 weeks later, easily the most straightforward movie in the franchise, the least experimental, that's the most about the tension and the action as opposed to the bigger ideas being explored. But as someone that likes straightforward action movies, that likes zombie-infected movies, that's not really a negative for me. It just is the movie that can kind of gotten overlooked or forgotten the easiest in the franchise, as the other films are just doing fresh new things, and this is just delivering a solid edge of your seat experience to it. It kicks off with this very intense sequence that sets the tone and the stage for what's going on, and then we jump forward into the narrative of the film. And this is a movie that I actually didn't watch until after I saw 28 years later. I saw it this fall for the first time, and it was a mostly blind experience going into it. I thought that the Robert Carlyle character was the main character for the whole movie. I didn't even realize that Rose Byrne and Jeremy Renner were in the film. So it was actually just, on a casting level, a very pleasant experience to have a movie that was just kind of so unexpected. On the basic setup of it, I think there's a little bit of straining of credibility of the logic of these kids being able to get out, get back in, and the way things played out, who's allowed where after breaking protocols and things like that. So the setup for the destruction of this society that they've built strained credibility. But for the most part, other than that, it delivers a really intense, suspenseful situation where there's characters that got to escape. They've got information that could be very useful. And we just kind of lead into this just on the run from everyone as barriers are collapsing, society's collapsing, and the military's trying to stop the spread. So they're starting to kill anyone that they can see. And you just feel danger everywhere that you're going. Even in the performance for Jeremy Renner, it's almost like a proto-Hawkeye because the characters, the nature of them are fairly similar. But because I knew so little about it, it really, while being a straightforward film, was very unexpected in how it played out. And as I said before, as someone that likes straightforward action movies, this was a well-made one in a genre that I enjoy, with actors that I enjoy. So for me, it's just a solid film of this genre. It doesn't have the heights and the creativity of other entries, but it delivers a solid experience. Our runner-up, The Bone Temple. I actually saw this movie a month ago at, I think, the earliest public screening of the film. They did these leaked screenings, and they just happened to do one here in Austin where I was at. So I saw the film about a month before other critics saw the film. And as someone that wasn't crazy, was very mixed on 28 years later, I left the theater like, man, I think I really enjoyed that. And sometimes when you see something early, you feel like you're going out on a limb where you don't know if you're going to be the one with the hot take or everyone's going to be in agreement with you. So I really wasn't sure because 28 years was so divisive and polarizing. So I was very pleasantly surprised when over this past weekend, this movie got an A- cinema score, which is a very high cinema score for anything horror or horror adjacent. The reviews for it are the best of the entire franchise. So I was like, all right, I wasn't crazy. Like, that really was a movie that just kind of pulled all the pieces together. And for me, what made this movie work so well is that it had kind of the straightforward plot of 28 weeks later with the poignance and thoughtfulness of 28 years later. It was focused, but also it kind of had that artistic depth to it at the exact same time. We've got two main plot lines going with our doctor running his experiments, forming his friendship with Samson, and things there work that shouldn't work because it earns it, it builds to it, and they're not zombies. They are the infected, and it builds into that idea if they're infected, then you can cure them. And it does something just really beautiful with friendship and this concept of humanity there and rediscovering humanity there while looking at the Jimmy cult and seeing how people completely lose their humanity and are just become so cruel and sadistic that even in their little cult, they don't care when their own members die sometimes. The opening scene of the movie makes it clear, like they're just flippant about one of their own dying and we'll just throw a new one in. It's completely replaceable. Like the alpha zombie is rediscovering friendship in that relationship, and the people, the uninfected, have lost it. And there's just something about all the parallels all throughout the movie that are just really profound and thoughtful while being horrifying, edge of your seat, the gnarliest stuff in the entire franchise, all building up to this insane crescendo that if you describe the scene detached from the context, you're like, oh no, what are they doing to this franchise? But they build to it in a way of just making it clear the psychosis that's going on with Jimmy and everything that he's doing that builds up to this crazy needle drop with Iron Maiden going on in a dance number that perfectly fits the movie. And in my theater, everyone broke into applause when it took place. So for me, this is the best movie since the original. And I could imagine a scenario where on rewatch, this one might start passing the original one for me because I just thought it was a movie that, while it's in the same territory as so many other zombie-infected movies where it's about how the humans are the real monsters and the real dangers, and it's not actually about the carnage candy of the infected, but it does it so well, so thoughtfully, it's so effective, and it delivers so much that it is this fresh new take, even while treading in some familiar territory. But coming in first place, 28 Days Later, and this is one of the movies, if not the movie, that reignited the zombie/infected genre in the early zeros that led to a revival where George Romero put out another movie, Walking Dead, World War Z, all that stuff came because there was a renewed interest in this type of film. And what it's able to do is just inject this 21st century aggressiveness, speed, intensity, while still having the Danny Boyle artistic flavor to it. All at the same time. Like, it delivers the very accessible carnage candy of these very fast-moving infected people contrasted with the slow-moving George Romero zombies. And so you have brutal action that makes you just like your heart start racing because it moves at such an intensity. But you also have this movie where Danny Boyle's kind of bringing in this lo-fi effect. Like he chose to shoot it lo-fi, and so it looks grainy or excessively grainy, not just grainy, excessively grainy. And it really feels like you're just on the streets of this deserted London watching this all unfold in front of you. Almost almost VHS footage from the time. I mean, just has a very specific aesthetic, very specific weird choices inside of it, all while, once again, being very accessible, hence why it reignited this genre. It's a movie that delivers the action you want, but also still explores this idea of the breakdown of society, the way that different humans would respond and the cruelty that would emerge from that. It's, it's the breakout performance from Cillian Murphy of what put him on the map that has led to him now leading Oppenheimer and winning Oscars for it and all of that. And so just a great entry into this genre that kind of made its mark at the time, has stood the test of time, and continues to just be a very unique film though others have tried to copy it, so it comes in at number 1. If you enjoyed this video, I did a 31 on 31 where I ranked 31 of the best zombie, infected, undead movies. So if you want to know where these movies compare with George Romero's films, World War Z, all that fun stuff, check that out somewhere around here, and keep talking movies and TV too much. Bye-bye.